Hello, everybody, and welcome into That Real Texas Team podcast, episode 47, as we're taking a look at Week 10 versus the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Welcome in. I'm the host, Curtis Brown. With me, as always, my resident co-hosts, Mike. Oh, check him out over on his YouTube channel at Mass3 Productions. Go like, subscribe, follow, or notification bell over there, trying to grow his channel. Down at the bottom, we got our other co-host, Chris, a.k.a. Pac-Man Freestyle, a.k.a. Slim Chickens. Check him out at That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Like, subscribe, notification bell. And do the same thing while you're at it here. We're at 233 at the time of this recording. Like to see that number keep jumping up. But look, this is a big game, y'all. Like, it may not be a conference game, but we cannot go out here against one of the league's best teams and shit the bed. We've got to look good. We got to look competent. If we go out here and we lose by 3, I'm not going to be upset, depending on how we lose by 3. Like, if we lose by 3 because we score 24 points and then they score 27, I'm going to be pissed. But that would also be very on brand for the 2024 Texans to score all their points first and then score none of it in the second half. That is not very on brand for the Lions this season, who have probably played the most efficient football possibly ever. I don't know about that for realsies, but Jared Goff is playing some tremendous football right now. But enough about them for a second. Let's talk about our own injured boys for a second, because we've got a pretty solid injury list here, gentlemen. Will Anderson Jr.
field the team with our injuries.
Do what?
We could field the team with our injuries.
Yeah. Will Anderson Jr., Derek Barnett, Folo Fotokasi, Kenyon Green, Dylan Horton, Damian Pierce did not participate, all for various reasons. Actually, most of them are shoulder. But Aziz Al-Shaair, Jake Hansen, Jerry Hughes, Shaq Mason, Jeff Okuda, Laramie Tunsil, Jimmy Ward, Jarrett Patterson, all limited. Jarrett Patterson was a full participant coming back from a concussion. It's a pretty long list, but, a couple of those guys, Folo Fotokasi was not supposed to play last week. He barely logged a little bit of limited practice and ended up playing, so I'm not super worried about him. But we're going to need all hands on deck. Will Anderson Jr. cannot, we can't afford to have him miss this game.
No.
At all.
Not unless we're going to get JJ out of retirement this week.
Yeah. And,
you don't want that.
No, that's
I know y'all saw that JJ tweet, right? When I'm guessing TJ was supposed to win Defensive Player of the Month, but they accidentally put JJ.
Yeah.
That tweet was crazy.
Oh man, that's funny as hell. But also, they're not on the injury report, but Nico Collins and Christian Harris are still on IR. The latest update is that Nico Collins was a non-participant in practice today. He wasn't even on the list here, but he was at practice. Christian Harris, however, we may not see until week 14 bye week?
Week 15. It'll be his first game that they think he might play.
He might get here for the last 4 games, which would be nice because we need as many people for that last 4-game stretch there. Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, Tennessee.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
But we don't even, they're not even releasing what's wrong with him, and that's concerning. But Nico missing would be detrimental. He's already missed his 4 games. We need him back badly, especially with no.
What's coming from Aaron Wilson says he's fully healthy. Aaron Wilson said the man passed all his tests. He's not had any setbacks. He's ready to go. Yeah. What, D'Amico? We trying to psych out the other team? It's working for our team. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they might just be kind of doing a veteran rest day for him today, just to not push the envelope on his day back. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. But if he misses by some stroke of poor management or something, yeah, we're cooked. We're absolutely cooked. There's no way we can do much with just Tank Dell and a bunch of run blocking wide receivers.
Oh Lord Jesus, because that's what all they are. Every
Yeah.
time they show, like every time, Mike, you've been saying it all season, and you literally been saying anytime they bring them out there, it's the block. I see why now. They can't get open. They cannot get whatever. They got open a couple of times during the Jets, but they can't get open. The only person who was getting open was Tank Dell. Like, we're not going to do any of that because, like, literally every time Mike said that he was seeing them on the field, which he was right, they were coming out there to block. They're not doing it. I have high hopes. I didn't have that many high hopes for Mechie, and for multiple reasons. I still think he's still not all the way there. Maybe mentally or just whatever. He's not that Alabama receiver that he was. But I had high hopes for X-Men. I had high hopes for him because he was making Nico like play.
They used to run bubble screens and different stuff for Xavier Hutchinson. They don't run them shits anymore. They don't run anything. And I'll say this. I went back and looked. I think Tank Dell might actually be back because the Jets were double teaming him.
Yeah, that bomb.
He's still getting open.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that deep bomb. There was at least 2 Jets there for that 50-yard deep bomb. Yeah, there was at least 2 Jets. He still made that catch.
And if we had to take a loss for Tank Dell to get out of his funk, fuck it, I'll take that Jets loss. I'll take it.
I mean, look, we're sitting here walking into week 10, and we're basically we're up a running back from last season. That's the big change from last year. Joe Mixon is even, last week we weren't expecting him to do all that much because the Jets defense is pretty good in run stopping. But Joe Mixon said otherwise.
Yeah, Joe Mixon just runs over.
So, I mean, he is
and laughs about it. He laughs about it.
He is the offense for us right now. People know how to stop CJ, and it's with constant pressure. And if he's, we're going to get into this here in a little bit with the offensive line. Actually, Mike, you know what? You brought it up that you wanted to talk about the offensive line before the show. Let's talk about the offensive line real quick. I'll let you take the floor on that.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I'm just the guy to say I sit up here and watch film all day and I break it down. But having this much time between that bullshit Halloween game to what we're going to be playing this Sunday night, I got a chance to go back and watch some of these other games. Thank you, Fubo. All my games are still there. I went back and watched them, and this zone blocking thing that we're trying to make all our plays look alike, it's not working. It's why we keep seeing Titus Howard slipping. It's why Kenyon Green is getting beat. Curtis, you've played line before, correct?
Yep.
What's the easiest thing to do? Block the guy directly in front of you, or chasing down the guy to your left or chasing down the guy to your right?
It's always the guy in front of you is the easiest thing in the world.
Why the fuck
blocking scheme? Well, it's why the zone blocking scheme, at least for the run aspect, is the no-brainer. But in pass pro, when we had the best version of the zone blocking scheme with Kubiak and Matt Schaub and everything, Dwayne Brown was holding it down over there. And then we had a bunch of other dudes who fit well into the scheme. We have thrown a zone scheme on guys who have probably never played a zone scheme in their lives. It's just not within their nature to do that. And
the zone scheme is worse on the guards and the centers. The guards and the centers, it's the worst on them. Left tackle, right tackle is still, hey, catch the guy at the end of the goddamn line.
Yeah.
It's still pretty much the same for them. We don't have athletic guards and centers.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
They keep getting hurt.
Well, it has nothing to do about getting hurt. If you think of when the zone scheme worked for the Texans, Chris Myers. You remember him?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most athletic guys I've ever seen, that goddamn big. Dwayne Brown, athletic as hell. I played basketball with Dwayne Brown. That man can play. He's very athletic. He can move. Titus Howard was that type of guy. That's why they kept moving him to left guard and right tackle, because he is an athletic guy. Larry, big. He's okay athletic. But Shaq Mason might be washed. We have not had a good guard since Kubiak was here.
Yeah. I mean, we let our potential best guard in franchise history, we let him walk to Philadelphia several years ago, Brandon Brooks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's sad to say that that's the best in Texans history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had some pretty good guards. Wade Smith was pretty good.
Yeah.
He was in that era with Chris Myers and everything. I'm trying to think.
Athletic. Another athlete.
Yeah. Well, I feel like when you guys first started joining me, I was in the middle of doing like a top 25 list, and I had a couple guards on there.
Yeah.
I can't find that list right now, but
that's what I'm saying. With those guys, they were athletes. But the thing is, I don't know if this is a Caserio thing, being that he comes from that New England Patriot background. We got guys that are maulers at our guards and center. Juice Scruggs in Penn State was a mauler. That's what he was. He was not a finesse guy. You got in front of him, and he just made you hate your life. That's what he did. That's what Kenyon Green did at A&M. You got in front of him, he just made you hate even being in front of him.
Hell, in the Jets game during some running plays,
A couple of people. I know y'all heard them.
I know. Quentin Williams got his fat ass planted a couple different times by Kenyon Green. And then when Kendrick came out and shored up the pass pro aspect of it, he started also whooping Quentin Williams' ass. I don't know, maybe it's just something with a green last name, but
but like I said, those guys are maulers. Yeah. When we started trying to be cute and do all these different blocking schemes, is when Quentin Williams was sitting in CJ's lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
At some point, guys, you've played offensive lineman most of your career, except for Titus. All of y'all played offensive line most of your career. Block the guy in front of you. I'd rather you make the wrong block than keep letting CJ get hit.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a lot of times watching this offensive line where it's just, sometimes it's definitely, just getting blown off the ball, seeing Kenyon Green off balance, just getting shoved backwards. And then there's occasions where CJ Stroud is given like an infinite amount of time, and then just nobody's getting open.
Especially in the Jets game.
Especially in that Jets game. There was probably 2 or 3 plays in the Jets game where he probably held the ball for, 5 or 6 seconds in the pocket, didn't run out of it, and still couldn't find anybody, and ended up taking off and running with it.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
I'm tired of CJ doing that. Sorry to cut you off. But it's getting to the point. I know CJ's not a running quarterback, but it's getting to the point to where sometimes I'm just like, CJ, you just need to go. If you don't see, especially when you got these blocking receivers out there, you don't have Nico. Nico is Tank Dell possibly to save him, but without having Nico there, Nico always saves CJ. We've seen it multiple times this season.
You know why? Nico is a physical presence at the receiver. Yeah. I go to my son's high school games, and they got receivers bigger than Tank. He's not a physical presence. He's a great route runner. Hands are pretty good. He can get open. Nico doesn't even have to be open.
Yeah. He is
Sauce Gardner. Yes, 6'4", 225, 230. Put it in the general area and let him go get it. It's what they do with DK Metcalf in Seattle.
Yeah.
Like, try to keep him from
What
catching.
they've been doing with Malik Neighbors.
It ain't Marvin Harrison. If it ain't broke, it works. That's what, like you said, I wish they do it with Xavier Hutchinson.
They have Nico listed at 222. Because like
that's still pretty. That's not little. That's still pretty.
Like DK Metcalf is like 235, and he looks like a bear.
Yeah. And he's fast.
Right, and then Nico has like a little bit of like a Slenderman look to him. He's just kind of lanky. He'll get there, but just like
no, I don't think he'll get there. I think he's where he needs. Because you got to remember when they first drafted Nico, they made Nico lose weight. He was bigger.
Yeah,
he was a little fluffy.
I mean, yeah, I still feel like they kind of unlocked him as far as it took him a couple years to kind of be found how to use him. Like they finally watched his tape and they were like, oh, we can just send him deep over the middle and we're good.
And they can't do anything about it because
yeah.
your average safety in the NFL is 5'10".
Yeah, I mean,
it's so crazy how small like cornerbacks and safeties. You have your special ones like softs, and then you have like why I can't ever remember this fool's name? Fucking God dang it! You don't play no more. Richard
Sherman.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman. I want to say Richard Jefferson so badly, but I know he's a basketball player. But I'm saying like Richard Sherman, Richard Sherman was like a monster, but Richard Sherman's like 6'3". And it was crazy.
What was Antonio Cromartie was tall as hell.
Oh yeah,
that's why old boy that plays for the Ravens, their safety, Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah,
he's a big dude.
A lot of people wanted us to draft Kyle Hamilton instead of Jalen.
We should have. We should have. We should have did that instead of
Kenny Green. Yeah, 100%. But then that means we probably wouldn't have drafted Jalen Petrie.
Yeah.
Now, in a perfect world, I would have like going defense the first 3 picks with Stingley, and then drafting Kyle Hamilton, and then in the second round still getting Petrie. That would have been one hell of a draft class, right?
Yeah, but we probably could have still got him for real though. While you're saying that.
Oh, he was available. That's the thing. We would have gotten because Jalen Petrie, he didn't run a great 40, so he had dropped down, and then they figured out how small he actually was.
Yeah.
And Baylor, nobody really knew that he was really that small of a guy. And so, yes, we could have gotten it. And I'll be honest, Jimmy Ward would not be here.
Oh, no. No, not at all. They might have brought in an older safety to kind of like mentor the group just because everybody in that room would have been so damn young. But because you're not really going to listen to Eric.
Think about it like this. Would he have been used correctly? Kyle Hamilton. But think about where his career might have went to if he was drafted to the Texans.
Well,
and who was our defensive coordinator? Lovie Smith? Was it Lovie Smith at that time?
No, and all crap aside, Lovie would have used him correctly.
Yeah.
I have faith in Lovie that he would have figured out how to use Kyle Hamilton.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Hamilton plays mostly like a drop back safety. He's not playing in the box a lot. So if Petrie was used the same way he was used, where he's playing in the box, then in theory we would use Hamilton correctly. But that's a conversation for just fantasy football, I guess. But look,
yes,
Matt,
there's some other things that happened. The trade deadline came and went Tuesday at 4. We made one move. We sent Khalil Davis to the San Francisco 49ers for a 7th round draft pick this year.
We did Khalil a solid because he was about to be cut.
Yeah. So that is 2 defensive tackles we have now sent to San Francisco in a calendar year, which is kind of weird.
I can't believe they actually did it with us again because Malik don't look like crap.
Yeah. Oh man. Are you guys underwhelmed by the amount of trades? Did you want to see trades happen? I would have not hated the idea of maybe trading for Mike Williams. Just to like when Nico came back, having 3 options would have been nice again. Especially because it kind of feels like with the ACL injury that Stephon Diggs got, that 1-year rental might actually for real be a 1-year rental.
I will say this, it sounds crazy. I'm not going to say this too often. The Cowboys got fleeced, but Jonathan Mingo would have been a nice pickup.
Yeah.
A guy with untapped potential that you don't know.
Fourth round pick.
They got fleeced. Jonathan Mingo.
Well, I think it was Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo hasn't done anything. It still got fleeced. Jonathan Mingo has 6 catches for his career.
Yeah, and they're all kind of like weird.
And the Cowboys
have their starting quarterback. That's the crazy part.
Thank you. The Cowboys don't have a quarterback. Cooper Rush is going to be the Cooper Rush. I love it. I love it.
Oh God.
Get up off. There's something to talk about next week. We'll talk about that next week because I'm ready for that.
All I was saying is Jonathan Mingo would have been a nice pickup.
Yeah. Would have been nice. I wouldn't have hated bringing in Andrews Pete or another offensive lineman of similar caliber. Somebody who could come in and at least play serviceable guard that knows how to play in his own scheme.
Yeah, it looked like they just signed the practice squad. That's what it seemed like they did.
Yeah. Well, they brought in Lyle Collins and some other guys to work them out and see how they would, do. I think they added a couple guys to the practice squad. Colvin from the University of Tennessee, he was a captain up here. They're trying, I think, but they're not trying the hardest they possibly could to address the issue.
I think their issue with their mindset is what I was trying to tell a lot of people. I think because how their blocking scheme works and how it's coached up, they didn't think they could bring somebody in from another team or even off the street that would be able to start at left guard. And that's my only thing where, I might agree with.
Yeah.
And you had to have been here all year long because that's my only mindset of thinking is they don't think they can bring some guy that was on another team and coach him up enough to protect CJ. I honestly believe that might be the reason why Kenyon Green stayed starting for so long. If Justin Patterson wouldn't have got a concussion, Kenyon Green might not have a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have been on the field.
It's out for the season, right?
I don't know. I think it is.
Yeah, they thought he was. They have not announced that he was on the injury report, kind of like Diggs was last week. So we'll see how that goes. But
I'm going to speak on that real quick. I do not like people being happy that he is hurt. I do not like that one bit. People saying, "Oh, because he's not blocking CJ, right? That's the no." I don't like that. I don't pray on no player's downfall. I don't care if they're not even on our team. I don't play. These people go out there and play professional football, regardless if we think they're bad or not. Him being benched, I'm all for it. But him getting hurt and him not playing because he's hurt, I am not with that because football is not an easy game to play.
And the other thing that comes into it is sometimes these guys aren't as bad as we think. Sometimes it's bad fucking coaching.
Yeah.
We've seen many players that for Texans, man, they couldn't get on the field. We didn't know who they were. A guy that I know very well, and Grant Stewart, plays for the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans had him here in camp. Couldn't figure out nothing to do with him. He's not really a good fit. He's a starting safety in Indianapolis. Y'all remember Connor Barlin?
Yep.
Couldn't figure out what to do with him. Went there, Pro Bowl. D'Amico went to Philly. We thought he was washed. Had a couple good years out there in Philly. The thing about it is sometimes it's just a bad situation and they need a change of environment. There's a lot of different things to go in. And being the fact that all of us are older than Kenyon Green. He's a baby when it comes to what it is in the NFL. He may not be as bad as he thinks, and he might be as bad as we think, but it's still, like you said, Chris, you don't cheer that man getting hurt.
No.
You don't.
I mean, I've never been that way.
You
Like,
can definitely call for
like that.
No, you can call for somebody's job all day, but wishing on their downfall or actual physical injury is pretty retarded, honestly.
Just like the whole thing, the Cleveland Browns made me feel bad for Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hated that. The booing, like
I feel bad
for me.
And I fucking hate Deshaun Watson as a person.
I saw something the other day that was literally saying Deshaun Watson at this point is a better person than he is a football player.
Whoa.
And I was like,
I hope his mom don't read that.
It made me think for a second. I was like, is that it's like he's a really bad person. But like he's not at all good right now. He's been bad for the last 3.
Damn. Ben is the fact that the Browns have been non-committal on his future with the team.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that has a guaranteed contract, they like, yeah, we don't know what we're gonna do about that situation.
Well, you guys remember his first game there? It was a preseason game in Cleveland, and the audience is literally saying like chanting "You sick fuck" as he's walking out on.
I love it.
Oh man. All right, look, let's start talking specific ways to win for the Texans to beat the Lions. It's Sunday Night Football. It's in Houston. We're wearing battle reds, goddammit.
Yes, sir.
So let's just assume that Nico's in the game. What do we have to do to beat the Lions? Let's start with just on offense.
Okay. Run the goddamn ball.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
Aiden Hutchinson. I know their defense is still pretty solid, but there's no Aiden Hutchinson still. I would be a lot more scared of them if they had Aiden Hutchinson.
Hey, they made a trade. They brought in the guy that eats our lunch. He has for years.
Darius Smith,
Yeah. Oh well, he's not Aiden Hutchinson, so we're just gonna have to hope that he doesn't eat our lunch again. But he ain't Aiden Hutchinson. On offense, okay, so like, if you want to be honest, if we're gonna talk about offense, can we start in the third quarter? I don't even want to talk about the first half because I don't think that there's going to be a problem. Because I don't think there's going to be a problem in the first half with the offense. I think the offense. I think the first 2 quarters we're going to be screaming and hollering like the Texans are going to look great in the first 2 quarters. I want to talk about this third quarter because I don't know all season, even in the Patriots game. I know they blew them out in the fourth quarter, but even in the Patriots game, like what is going on? What is your schemes that you are coming out with after halftime? I just don't understand. Like they need to go in with the same mindset that they do whenever they start the game because things is just completely different. They change things up. They come out throwing the ball. Like I can't even explain it. It's really getting irritating, and our offense looks bad, especially in the third quarter, to where CJ's always having to do a game-winning drive. I'm tired of seeing CJ do a game-winning drive. It's nice, but I'm tired of having to depend on that. Having to depend on Fairbairn to make a last-second field goal. Like, I'm tired of looking at that. Like, they need to figure something out. Like, I'm not saying go out and blow the doors off of them, but golly, like, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you got your defense getting tired because now you got the defense on the field all the time because we didn't have 2 or 3 and outs in the third quarter. Not even getting a first down is 3 and outs. Every single time after halftime. I'm sorry, y'all. My rant's over with that. Go ahead.
Hold on. I think you've got like a touch of echo on or something. But
no, it's this room I'm in because it's empty. So it's not that. It's literally
it's just slowly being filled by your anger.
Oh yeah, it's this room that I'm in. I need to put some stuff whenever I go get the rest of my furniture and shit. The echo hopefully will go away.
You're gonna need Apollo. You're gonna need Apollo Santos sick in that room, man. You're gonna need the Sage and all of them. That anger was real, and I feel it.
Yeah.
The thing that I would say here is we need it in general. We need these tight ends to step up. Because let me ask you guys, the Lions are doing great, right?
Yeah.
Who plays linebacker for the Lions?
For the Lions, Malcolm Rodriguez, Alex Anzalone. Crap. Hold on. It's not Chris Barnes anymore, is it?
But that's my point.
Packers.
Find the Pro Bowl. Who's the Pro Bowl?
That's a good point. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know any of the linebackers. I know more.
No, and that's my point. There's no high-end CJ Mosley type linebackers. There's none. The linebackers is their weak link. Their safeties are going to try to kill Tank.
Yeah.
Brian Branch and is it Kirby Joseph?
No, you're talking about CJ Gardner-Johnson?
No.
Not there no more. He went back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's they're two safeties.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Kirby Joseph then.
It is Kirby Joseph. Okay. They're two safeties. They hit.
Yeah.
They hit. That's their mindset is we're hitting. And they're leading the league in interceptions. They got 10 interceptions between the two of them.
Damn.
So those guys are going to be there. Their quarterbacks, they're going to be who they are. But it means that Cade Stover, Tegan Quintariano, I don't even want to say the guy's name, but Dalton Schultz, we need y'all to catch something. Keep them honest in the middle of the field. Because I don't want Tank running cross routes in front of these safeties.
You don't want Tank to get a to be like Chris Olave.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
That's what I do not want to happen. So I need these tight ends to step up. We need to see some more dump. How many passes did Joe Mixon catch against the Jets?
I think like 2 or 3 tops. Maybe one.
I think it was one. And none from Dare.
No, none from Dare. I think there was only like 4 people who registered a catch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Joe Mixon, Tank Dell, Hutch and Mitchell didn't even record a catch. I think Dalton Schultz got one, and Robert Woods. Yep.
That's completely unacceptable. But what's what I'm saying? We need the tight ends to open up the middle of this field. We need them to make it easy. And CJ, hit your dump receiver. Because like you said, I didn't even bring it up when we were talking about the offensive lineman, but I do know they said CJ has more time than any other quarterback in the NFL to throw.
Well, it's not that he has that much time to throw. It's
when he's not pressured.
His average time to throw is high as hell. So he's pressured quite a lot. I mean, like the last 3-4 games, it's been almost 50% each game for every drop back. So, I mean, he's just avoiding and holding onto the ball, waiting on something to open up.
His receivers aren't getting open.
No.
Like you said, Chris, run, Forrest, run.
He's not even fast, but I would just rather him run. He will pick up more yards. I mean, that way,
he's faster than Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers. Do I need to keep going? I can keep going down this list. It's a bunch of guys that he is faster than. But I don't need him to be Lamar Jackson. I don't need him to be Josh Allen. I need you to, like he's been doing, run for that 7 and get out of bounds, get down, slide.
I like to think he always keeps his eyes downfield, but it's just like sometimes he just.
Bro, they not open.
They're not open, especially like when you're playing with like these players, because like I feel like that Jets game goes a lot different if there are times that he takes off. I know at the end of the game he was, and even what was the game against? Was that Green Bay? When he was like, I'm just gonna take off and run and do it myself because people aren't getting open. And it's just
You know what? I love CJ, but I also need to mention this. Y'all do know a lot of those passes that go to Nico, he's not open. That's just CJ trust Nico to catch the ball. He's going to have to develop some trust. Well, I think he still has that trust with Tank Dell.
Yeah.
But he does not. He's got to trust Xavier Hutchinson. I think he's trying so hard not to throw interceptions. He doesn't trust his players to go up and get the ball. But all of these guys have been playing receiver their entire life. Means that you know how to go and get the ball. You're not going to be open. Especially when Mechie was never the fastest guy on the field. Neither was Xavier Hutchinson. These guys know how to make contested catches. CJ, throw it to him. If you throw an interception, fuck it. It's better. Interception is definitely better than getting sacked right now because getting sacked is going to get you hurt.
Yeah. Our wide receivers are like a marriage in the 1800s. You can't get no separation. It's real bad. All right, let's pivot to the defense. What does the defense have to do to stop the NFL's most efficient and high-scoring offense?
I got this.
Mike.
Do your damn job.
Jalen
Petrie, no hero football. If your zone is the back quarter of that, stay there. Even if you see the running back rolling out to the left, stay the fuck to the right. Because the running back might throw it across the field. You see Jared Goff go line up at wide receiver. Play him like a goddamn receiver. Stay in your roles. Stay in your roles. Do what you're supposed to do as a football player. If your area is the middle of the field, you're supposed to guard everything in the middle of the field. You see the ball coming out of your area. Stay in your area. Trust your teammates to do their jobs as well. Because when you start overcommitting is when Detroit starts pulling all this shit out of their bags. That's how they caught everybody slipping one after another is you have guys overcommitting because they see the ball. See the ball. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I joked about it when we say see the ball, hit ball. Yes, when they're in your area. Don't chase. Don't chase.
Yeah.
And the main person that I'm saying with that is Henry To'oTo'o. Don't chase. Because Ben Johnson is a hell of an offensive coordinator, and there's going to be some trick. If we see the entire game Sunday night, and I'm going to be in the building, if I see the entire game and I don't see one trick play, I won't believe I went to a football game.
Yeah.
Not that game.
Look, they have devised ways of getting linemen the ball really consistently. They were mad about a game that happened last season where they had a lineman report eligible, and then the referee forgot about it, and then they threw a flag after he caught a touchdown. And then they played that same team this year, and they did the same shit again, and they got a touchdown. This is a creative offensive thinker. D'Amico is going to have to be in his bag. To me, if the Texans win this game, the defense has to thwart one of the craziest offensive lines in the NFL. Penei Sewell is one of the best right tackles in the league. Frank Ragnow is one of the best centers in the league. Their other offensive linemen, they may not be top flight, but they're not anything to wag your finger at. So Danielle Hunter has got to have a day, especially if there's no Will Anderson Jr. If there's no Will Anderson Jr., we need Danielle Hunter to basically pull off a 5-sack game. We need him to be in Penei Sewell, just working him, flipping to the other side and hitting Taylor Decker and making him question his whole life. Danielle Hunter needs to be an absolute monster, and we need like the Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery tandem at running back will eat us alive if we let it. We need every ounce of run defense that we've ever had.
Thank God Jamison Williams ain't there.
Yeah.
If there's no Will Anderson, I'm saying it now, Danico Autry will not play defensive tackle the entire day.
Yeah.
You won't see him play healthy. Huh?
And that scares me.
No,
I know
it doesn't scare me. But it doesn't scare me because Danico Autry is a defensive end. It doesn't scare me. The things that scare me is, can you tell me who the other defensive tackles are?
On our team, if there's no Foley or Danico?
Well, no, we know Foley's going to be one side on rundown.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other? It means
Tim
you're going to watch.
You got Tim Settle. You've got Kurt Heinisch. And Mario Edwards is suspended. It would be Danico rotationally. If there's no Will Anderson Jr., then he's not in that rotation.
Now you see, that's the only reason the Khalil Davis trade made me a little nervous. It's because, damn, who else is there?
Well, I think they have some faith in maybe either some practice squad guys, because they had some dudes that have been around the building, specifically D'Amico Ryan's system for a couple years on the practice squad. Akeem, I can't remember his first name, Ajim Akeem, I think, or something like that. He's been around the building for a while. I think that's somebody that they would look at to, kind of fill the snaps that Khalil Davis used to have. Chris, what do you think? What do we have to do on defense to beat the Lions?
I don't want to answer that question, but I will.
Okay.
I'm about to say, you gonna plead the fifth?
I really want to. Number one, we need Will Anderson.
Yeah,
we need Will. I have. Okay, so I wasn't sure about it last year. I knew Will Anderson was that dude, but I was also not sure about it when they traded up to get him. I wasn't all the way sure, and then I watched him play all season last year, and I was like, oh my God, he is that dude. And then watching him this season, I know that Neil Hunter's on the other side, but Will Anderson Jr. is he hasn't missed a game yet, right?
Not yet.
I know he didn't play, but he's at 7.5 sacks, and he only played a piece of the Jets game. Did he get a second game? Did he get a second game?
No, I think Danico Autry got both of the sacks that game.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He's actually on the damn team. I was wondering because we're paying him 48, whatever. No, we're paying a guy 48 million. Whatever. I'm not saying he's been bad. I'm not, because the thing about it is, I also feel like Will Anderson's going against the left tackles. I don't know. And that's the thing about it is, what is Penei Sewell? It got to be Daniil Hunter. Daniil Hunter got to work for that. It has to be. It has to be, because I don't believe, even if Will Anderson's back, I don't think he's going to be 100%. I honestly don't even want him to play. I don't want him to play, and he goes out there and gets hurt, and we get blowed out or something. I really don't even want him to play.
The only reason why I'd be okay with him playing is because we're at home. The Jets turf, I didn't want any of us to play on.
True.
It's bad.
And people, but that's the thing about it. Okay, so that's another thing. So you also got to remember the Lions are a dome team also.
Oh yeah, this is right in their wheelhouse.
That is an issue for me. I mean, y'all might see him in them. You might see him in them there.
Open the building. Open the roof.
They're not going to.
It's a Sunday night game. They might. We're on national television. It's the best time to show. That's why we're wearing the battle red. It's because we're on TV. We want to look good. And that stadium looks its best with that roof open. A Sunday night game. And the time changed and already happened, so it will be dark. No part of this game will be played with any sunlight.
Yep.
Oh, that's such a great thing. When speaking on defense, it's a really hard thing to do, because I see a lot of hero ball, especially from Jalen Petrie. You don't need to try to get every interception. Sometimes you just need to tackle the guy. And okay, so also, you know what I'm really scared of? You know how we were talking about the the linemen and things like that? You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared. I'm scared of any screenplay that these guys are going to do. I'm terrified of the screenplay because you know what's going to happen? It's going to be Toho out there on the island with somebody. He's going to miss the tackle. Like, even though he's been playing great, but this is what's going to. I'm calling it right now. This is what's going to happen. Toto's going to be on the island with somebody, and he's going to miss the tackle, and he's going to miss the tackle because he's not going to be patient. You know, that's what happens. And Jahmyr Gibbs or whoever, Amon-Ra St. Brown, somebody is, fuck, it might be goddamn Eric Decker. And I understand he's not a receiver. But that's my point. that is my exact point. I am extremely scared of them running any screenplay on us because I think this year we've been doing a lot better with the screen, but then there are times if that first man is missed, it's over.
Yeah, Aziz has been the screen sniffer, it seems like.
Yeah.
So with him back, hopefully that's not that big of a problem. But
yeah,
let's go ahead and pivot real quick. Last point. Let's go, Mike.
Also, I actually might want to see Devin White play.
Yeah.
We brought him here for his speed. Jahmyr Gibbs is a problem. David Montgomery is a problem. These are two guys you got to hit before their legs get to move.
David Montgomery doesn't really have top end speed. He's more of a I'm
He's
a run
running
through
you. Yeah, but if you can catch him before them legs start, just like they do Joe Mixon.
Yeah, fair enough. So look, let's get into some score predictions and wrap this thing up. Where the Lions are coming into Houston, 3.5-point favorites with a 48.5 point over under. I'm going to lead us off here. I'm going to say, in a crazy game, Houston wins 31-28. My thinking behind this is Nico's back, Will Anderson Jr. plays, and the offense starts to look a little bit better. Wide receivers are starting to get open somewhat. And Joe Mixon continues to do Joe Mixon things. We're able to kind of capitalize on a few different things. Kaimi Fairbairn didn't miss a field goal or two, and we're solid. So 31-28, I honestly could have gone the other way with it because, that's my homer pick, I assume. But if I were to pick a 100% honest thing, I guess it would, Detroit 27-20. I could see that happening. Yeah. Who wants to go next? Chris, Mike?
Oh, so my score predictions 30-35 Texas because it's either going to be because I think Detroit is going to score every bit of 35, and I'm just hoping we score 38. Like I say, a homer pick, but I think Detroit's going to score every bit of 35 easily.
Yeah. So so far we're definitely on the over on this one.
Oh yeah, no, I expect it's going to go over regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. I love my team, but the way these last couple of weeks have looked, and the way with my and of course we could be that because we're being doubted by everybody now. Remember before we were that team, and I'm going to be completely honest because this is my team. I did not see us as a Super Bowl team, even with Stephon Diggs.
No.
Did I think we could go to the Super Bowl? Of course. I thought we could have, but I didn't think that. I honestly did not think that it was a Super Bowl team because, first of all, I just want to get to an AFC Championship game. Can we get there first?
Right.
You got to get there.
Can we beat Kansas City? That's all I want. I want to beat Kansas City. Whether it's the regular season or the playoffs, I want to beat them.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited with the fact that Kansas City still hasn't lost yet. I want to put that blemish on their record.
Don't let her play, no?
Yeah.
We go to Arrowhead to play them.
Yeah, I know Baltimore comes here, but we'll talk about that another time.
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold as shit.
December 21st. It's a Saturday, and then we play the Ravens 4 days later on Christmas.
But at least we play the Ravens at home.
Yeah.
Bro, 4 days later, this is what happens when you're good.
Yeah, we have 3 games in like 10 days, right?
Yeah. We have the Dolphins game the 15th, the Chiefs game the 21st, and then the Ravens game the 25th.
The Titans. Why couldn't it have been the Titans instead of the Dolphins? I would have rather the Titans.
I mean, with the way that their defense is playing, it doesn't look that scary.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
But we'll get there. Mike, score prediction?
Like I said, this is a Texans podcast, so let's keep it real. I homer pick as well, 34-20, Texans.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is I think they gave D'Amico too much time to plan for Detroit. And that's my mindset is I think y'all have given D'Amico damn near 2 weeks off to figure out what am I going to do about Detroit. And then the fact of it is our defense might only be missing Will Anderson. Jimmy Ward can be playing. Azeez, I expect him to be playing. Henry told I expect everybody else on that defense to possibly be playing except for maybe Will Anderson. And I think there's a chance Will Anderson might play.
Yeah.
Because they said it the Jets game. Will could have played.
Yeah. Well,
they just need.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
He went back in the game. You're right. He went back in the game.
Yeah.
I think he could have continued playing, but they were like, you know what? This turf has been known to end careers.
Yeah.
It's just nah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm scared of Dan Campbell. He likes to bite kneecaps.
Yeah. And he's I honestly would have loved to play for Dan Campbell.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way as you do right now. I mean, Dan Campbell's going to be in Detroit for a long time.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell and D'Amico Ryans are so much alike that a lot of people aren't really catching it. They're both people motivators. Everybody that plays for D'Amico wants to run through a brick wall for him. Everybody for Dan, they're down there biting ankles too. They don't care.
Yeah.
Hutch for them is pissed off that he disappointed his coach. These are guys getting paid millions of dollars and they're disappointed. They're worried about disappointing their coach.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, look, I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up, gentlemen. I want to thank you both for taking time out of your evenings to come on and talk Lions, Texans, Week 10, Sunday Night Football. I want to thank you guys at home for watching. Hit those like and subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel, 233 right now. If we said anything that you agree with, let us know in the comments section. If we said anything that you don't agree with, hit us in the comments section. I want to hear from you. Hit us in the comments section. While you're hitting buttons and commenting, head on over to Mike's channel, Mass 3 Productions. While you're searching things up, head on over to That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Like, subscribe on both of these channels. Notification bells for when they drop new content.
I feel like they're supposed to do something too. I know that does something. Oh, I think this does something.
What's that one do? Like explosion?
Oh,
it's raining. Yeah, okay. What is it?
I think it does a thumbs down too. Yeah, it does.
Wow. We got that.
Well,
my camera just works.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I just have a functioning camera. That's all I got. I'm fancy.
Yeah.
Where's my computer? It doesn't matter about the camera.
Folks, be good people and go Texans.
Love you. Go Texans.